Hey, what's up? This is Todd Smith. I'm back with another video. In this video, I want to speak about starting up your own fan base, building up momentum in music. How do you go about getting people interested in your music? And just some general tips on how to build from the ground bottom, zero people listening to you, into something that's slowly growing over time. Pretty much everyone knows that music is very, very hard to start getting momentum in. It is very hard to start getting people interested in supporting your projects. Long gone are the days of, radio DJs who used to just hear a B-side, love that piece and get that person a record deal. Really, honestly, record labels of today really don't care too much about your sound quality as much as they care of what you can bring to the table, when it comes to crowd, your live show, how many people are there, how big of a following you have. Back in the day, you could almost have just really great production, have almost nobody following you, have the right ear hear it, and then maybe get brought onto a label and expanded. As I said, those days I feel have pretty much passed. If you're sitting there just releasing a bunch of music, hoping somebody else is going to come by, hear it, and bring you onto their train, and that's like almost standing in the field with your record and waiting for lightning to strike you. It's really come to the point where you need to hit the ground running. You need to build your base momentum and really just put in the time. What really gets most people is they'll spend a good amount of time on an album. I don't know how much time you're going to take on an album. Let's say, 1 month, 2 months, 6 months, whatever it is. They'll put it in that time into a record, release it on SoundCloud, release it on Bandcamp, whatever they do. Have very little to almost no momentum behind it, where they have no real means of kind of showing it to the world. They have no real promotional outlet. They don't even have a lot of people that would really listen to that promotion, even if they did put it out. And then when they just kind of release their release out of nowhere and no one buys into it, it just kills all their momentum. And some people just might give up then and there and never really attempt again. But honestly, if you are going to try to get people truly into your music, you have to be willing to put out a bunch of stuff that no one is going to hear just to get a few people interested into what you're doing. If it's your first release, you're going to be lucky to get 1 or 2 people even interested in that. Really, really lucky if you get them interested to actually care about your future projects. And that's really what you want. You don't really want to worry about getting 1,000 or 100 people. Just worry about one person. Every person that comes along, every single person that you can slowly mount up into getting interested in your work. Even if your first album only gets 1 or 2 people interested in you, that is a raving success. That is 2 more people than you had before that album. I think it's very easy for people to get lost in that and not see that just those small numbers add up over time. By the end of the year, even if you just released an album every 2 months and each album only got 2 people really interested in your work, people who are really into what you do, people who are looking forward to your next projects, people who are really just into you, not just flight by night fans, but people who actually really want to follow you and support you. Even if by the end of the year you only have 20 people, that's a lot. That's a lot of people. If you can get 20 people within 1 year who are diehard fans, that's pretty huge. And people don't really look at that. They look at these really big numbers. I think because we've lived in this world where people sell 1 million records or they got a gold platinum records and they're so used to big numbers, people don't really understand that once you start getting down to the ground bottom, it's not about huge numbers. It's about dedicated fans and really, really taking the time to show love to people who are willing to dedicate that to you. And even that slow trickle over years and years and years could equal hundreds of people being really, really dedicated to your following. So what it comes down to is you need to be willing to put out a bunch of work just to gain that initial momentum. Your first album, no matter how good it is, probably won't get you 100 people super interested in your work. no matter how great the production is, no matter how amazing it is. That's just the fact of it. You're going to have to slowly grind it out. And most people are not willing to do that. A very smart man said, most people overestimate what they can do in 1 year, but underestimate what they can do in 10. And I think that is a perfect quote for people starting out with music or trying to start off with their music project. Don't get too frustrated off your first year or your first 2 years. Be happy with every single person that comes and really, really likes your stuff. Make sure you recognize those people. Show energy towards those people so that they know that you appreciate the energy that they're giving into you. For every person you really get into your work, and if you build that up after album, year after year, 5 years later, you might be pretty surprised at where you are in your project. But like I said, so many people get discouraged. So many people give up because they expect an initial flock to their work. And that's almost never going to happen. So if you truly want to make it on your own and start to make some momentum in your projects, you need hardcore dedication. Years and years of work. Do not focus on the numbers right away. Just focus on the people who are truly interested in what you do. Keep them interested. Keep stuff coming. Build up those numbers. Last but not least, this is pretty much my experience. Obviously, there's multiple ways of going about this. There is no one said rule to how to succeed with your musical project. This is just kind of my advice. This is kind of just my input that I've gained off the, few years of YouTube and the momentum I've gained off my music. Now, take it with a grain of salt. It doesn't need to apply to everybody, but I really feel that my mindset might help some other people, so I figured I'd share it with you. And as always, I need to say thank you to my Patreons. They are, as I just stated in this video, some of the amazing people that have started to support me. And just like I stated in this video, you really need to show appreciation to those people at your starting footsteps. And these people are the people that have started to support me from the beginning, so I cannot thank my Patreons enough. And as always, I need to say, stay positive, stay creative, support each other, and peace.